Hey guys, and welcome back. This is episode 4 of my Franchise Hockey Manager 7 playthrough as the Boston Bruins. So, change of plans a little bit. I simmed up to a couple of days before the trade deadline. We'll go over the team, go over some of the stuff that has happened since we last talked. And then there are a couple of trades that I have lined up, so I'll show you those. We'll execute the trades, we'll play a game, and then we'll sim ahead to the end of the regular season. We'll play a game, and then we'll call it an episode. So we currently sit 26, 29, and 7. We've made a bit of a, I don't want to say run, but we've played a whole lot better since Marchand and Pastrnak have come back. If you look at our schedule, I think we ended sometime. What game did we play? We lost. Oh, hell, I don't even remember what game it was. This one to Pittsburgh. So you can see January 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4 losses in January. And then in February, it's been pretty good. 1, 2 wins, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, and I guess 6 and 4 here in this month as well. Trade deadline's right here on the 24th, so we got a couple of days. If we look at, we'll go over the NHL first, and then we'll jump to our stats and that sort of thing. So you can see we still currently sit second from the bottom, although we have gapped here between us and Ottawa. We're not going to make the playoffs. That's pretty clear. But from a league perspective, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We sit ninth currently. Still high enough to get us a decent pick in the first round. It's not what I wanted to do. Still high enough to get us a decent pick in the first round, so we'll have to see what happens when that comes along. Offensively, Jake Gensel with just an absolutely monster year, 82 points in 61 games. Jonathan Huberdeau, Kyle Connor, Steven Stamkos, and Vladimir Tarasenko round out the top 5. Tarasenko, Matthews, Hall, Evander Kane, and Ovi, top 5 in goal scoring. And then Sean Monahan, Gensel, Nick Backstrom, Crosby, and Kucherov, top 5 in assists. On the goaltending side, Cal Peterson, surprisingly leading the NHL in goals against. McElhinney, number 2. Marc-Andre Fleury, Rittich, and then Ilya Sorokin, top 5 in goals against. McElhinney, Fleury, Elliott, Malcolm Subban, and David Rittich, top 5 in save percentage. And then Jack Campbell for Toronto leads, a 2-star goalie, leads the NHL in wins with 33. Rittich, Holtby, Lehner, and Hellebuck, top 5 in wins. So if we look at our team, Patrice leads the way, 52 points in 62 games. DeBrusk still leads the team. He's the only one with more than 20 goals, 42 points in 62 games. Marchand has 32 points in his 28 games, and Pastrnak with 27 points in his 19 games. So offensively, we have really picked it up here over the last couple of months. That top line is clicking, but we just got too far behind. Andre Kasha, about a point every other game on that second line with Krejci and DeBrusk. So he's doing okay on that right wing. Andre Texier, who we traded for in the last episode, 6 points in 17 games for us. Craig Smith, 19 points in 37 games in his first season for us, and then you can kind of see from there a lot of average and below average type play. Goalie stats, Tuukka has picked it up a bit. They finally got that save percentage over 900, but still to 3.12 goals against. Dan Vladar, 911 save percentage with an even 3 goals against. So that's where we stand as a team. What else do we want to look at before we take a look at the trades? Oh, let's go to the mail. So we signed Sean Corrali to a, 3-year, $4.2 million contract. Yeah. 1.4 per year for the next 3 years. That'll take him till he's 31. That's pretty cheap for our third or fourth line center. Texier, we signed 3 years, just under $1 million a year. Senyshyn, I think he's at, $750? Yeah, $750 a year for the next 3 years. Hopefully he can develop offensively. We did re-sign Andre Kasha Kasha, we signed to a 3-year, $9.4-ish million contract to be that second line right wing. And Trent Frederick, we also brought back 3 years, just over $1 million a year. He'll probably be that fourth line center next season. Brad Marchand had a hat trick in a game against Buffalo earlier in the month. Just thought we'd show that. NHL All-Star Game, we had one member, Patrice Bergeron. Skills competition, Jack Eichel was the fastest. Breakaway challenge, I guess won by Austin Matthews. Shooting accuracy, Kyle Connor. The relay teams were both won by Team Blue. Hardest shot, Ovi. Patrice Bergeron was on there. Okay, that's interesting. Ovi had the hardest shot. All-Star comp. We just showed the All-Star competition. Patrice played, had one assist, was a -1 in 9 minutes in the All-Star game. We made a deal back in December. Actually, we'll get to that in a second. Scouting update. So we're looking around 9th, which looks like it could still get us one of those top defensemen. You've got Daniel Chayka, Brant Clark, Carson Lambos, Owen Power, who is kind of the one I've got my eye on, although Brant Clark looks pretty good as well. So it's got Genther and McTavish as 1-2. Development report for January. Beecher got a little bit better. I like to see the growth there. Grzelcyk continues to get a little bit better. Andre Kasha, Anders Bjork, Vakanainen, who's back down in Providence, but will be up with us next year. Starting to get a little bit better as well. Jacob Lauko, bravery and shooting accuracy, and then Bergeron, Krejci, and Carey regressed a tiny bit. Patrice, 3 goals and 2 assists in a game against Montreal. Board confidence update, 6-4. I should continue with my good work, I guess. Gabriel Landeskog signed a 6-year, $7.52 million contract. So it's at about $44 million over 6 years. So pretty good deal, I think, there for the Avs. Arizona traded Lawson Krause and the rights to Patrick Kudla to Carolina for Hayden Fleury and the rights to Ville Rasanen. Obviously, Krause and Fleury are the main parts of that deal. And then we made a deal with Chicago back on the 25th. Not a huge deal, but we were able to move on from Nick Ritchie, trading him to the Blackhawks in exchange for 21-year-old Evan Barrett. Barrett, pretty good offensively, and I would tell you to keep this name in mind because he's not around for very long, I will tell you. 3 years at Penn State, point-a-game scorer for 2 of his last 3 years. He's put up 4 points in 12 games with Providence so far this season. So we made that trade in January, and that will lead us into the trades that we have got lined up here as we approach the deadline. So let's take a look at those. So the first one was with the Vegas Golden Knights, and it had us sending John Moore, Par Lindholm, here we go, Evan Barrett, and a 7th-round draft pick, Toronto's 7th-round pick, to the Vegas Golden Knights in exchange for a couple of young players. We pick up... Where did he go? Here we go. 3.5-star goaltender Dylan Ferguson and Mason Primo, and I think I could have either one of these two guys. And I think we'll go with the defenseman. So Dylan Ferguson, Mason Primo, and Peter Dillabatore. Okay, so we'll start with Peter Dilibatore, 20-year-old left defenseman. Don't know a ton about him. He's not scouted. Currently playing at Quinnipiac, where he is about a half a point a game defenseman. He's a defensive defenseman. Again, I don't know a ton about him, but potential 3 stars, so hopefully we can scout him and see what we can get. Again, nothing to go on. You can see his career stats here. It was 19 points as a freshman, 21 as a sophomore, and 9 points in 20 games so far this year as a junior. So Dilibatore, the rights to him. Mason Primo, 3 stars, or 3 stars, I guess, 3.0 rating for both us and or the overall consensus. We're pretty confident that's what he is. We don't know if he'll reach it or not, though. He is similar to Ondrej Kase, which is interesting because Kase is an offensive forward where Primo is a two-way forward. Develop into a good player. Career stats, you can see he's assistant for the North Bay Battalion this season, 38 points in 52 games. His second full season with them has been much better than his first. He's only 19 years old, so we have his rights for another couple years, so we'll probably just let him simmer there for a while. The big part of this for us, Dylan Ferguson, 3.5 star potential goaltender. We're fairly confident in how we have him rated and how he's going to end up. Spent the beginning of this season in the AHL with the Henderson Silver Knights, where he put up a 3.4 goals against and 901 save percentage. Currently with the Fort Wayne Comets, 3 basically identical stats, 3.0 goals against, 905 save percentage. But he's only 22, and goalies usually take longer to develop. So we have his contract through next year, so we may have to think about re-signing him, or he can be a restricted free agent, but I don't think anybody will sign him. Scouting, potential to become a top player. Right now, he's not ready to play. But so that's deal number 1. So we give up more Lindholm Barrett, who we just picked up in that deal from the Blackhawks, and a 7th-round pick for Ferguson, Primo, and Dilibatore. So yeah, let's go ahead and offer. You know what? The one thing I didn't think about was cap space. So before I do this, let's do the other trade, because the other trade's more important, and that way if I have to fiddle around with this from a salary perspective, I didn't even think about that. From a salary perspective, I can come back in here and mess around with this. So the other deal we made was with Colorado Avalanche, and this is the big one. This is the big deal for us. So we send Anders Bjork and the rights to Alexander Koklachev, as well as Tuukka Rask, to the Colorado Avalanche. And in return, we have to take back some contract, and that contract was Brandon Saad. So we bring Brandon Saad back. His cap hit's only $5 million for the 1 year. We pick up Connor Timmins, a 3.5-star potential defenseman, and this is the big part of the deal. The rights to Alex Newhook, as well as a 6th-round pick from the Avalanche next season. Actually, I don't think I can get the 5th this year, can I? Yeah, no. Figured I'd give it a try, and a 6th-round draft pick. So Tuukka Rask, in his final season with the Bruins, we were not going to bring him back at age 33. Has had a really, really bad season, but is probably the best goaltender the Bruins have had in the last, 30 years, 40 years. There are a lot of Tuukka haters out there. I'm not one of them. So Tuukka goes to the Avalanche to try to win a cup. Along with him goes Anders Bjork, who has 23 points in 51 games this year, but a game rating of only 58, and he's a minus 12. We talked about Koklachev earlier. He's never going to sign with us. His rights expire this year, so we'll let Colorado deal with him. In exchange, we bring back Brandon Saad, who has 29 points in 57 games for the Avs this season. Two-way forward. We'll probably stick him on the third line or something just to play through the rest of the season. Connor Timmins, a 3.5-star, 22-year-old defenseman who will start in Providence. But our scouting isn't 100% accurate, but we're confident that he'll reach whatever that potential happens to be. Defensive defenseman, 27 points in 44 games in the AHL this season. And Alex Newhook, who we don't have a lot of information on, but I know a little bit about hockey, and I'm a Hockey East guy, so I know who Alex Newhook is. I know that he's projected to be a stud. So we pick him up. Age 20, he's a point-a-game guy for BC in his sophomore season. We have his rights for another few seasons, so we'll be able to bring him up whenever we feel. Probably won't be. He might not be until he graduates, so he's only a sophomore right now. So that's the big deal. So Bjork, Rask, and the rights to Alex Koklachev for Brandon Saad, Connor Timmins, the rights to Alex Newhook, and a 6th-round pick. So let's go ahead and finalize that deal. Now let's go back in and see if we can make the other one. John Moore and Par Lindholm and Barrett. And a 7th. Toronto 7th for... Where is he? Dylan Ferguson. Primo. And Peter Dilibatore. All right, so I can make them both. Good. I was concerned. So we make those 2 deals. And that changes things up for us. And we need a goalie. So I think it might be in our best interest here to claim Pavel Francouz, because I don't really want to call up. I was going to call up Connor Booth just to back up Vladar, but I don't have to do that now. So Ferguson is going to go to Providence. Timmins is going to go to Providence. So we've got we've got 6 defensemen. So I need to call up another defenseman. Number of players. I don't know if people dressed. Okay, so we'll dress Saad. So we need to call. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I need to call up a goalie, and I need to call up another wing. So let's go down here. And let's call Frederick back up. And I need to see if I'm able to claim that goalie. If I can, I'll call him up. If not, I won't. So we'll just wait for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have to call up another defenseman. I think it's time. I think it's Vakanainen time. And we will see what he can do. So that is the white flag on this season, I believe. We got too far behind, and that's what happens. So we're going to replace Miller with Vakanainen. So let's look at our lines really quickly here. Brandon Saad. So we're going to do that. Coyle, Smith, and Saad. We'll move Texier down to the 4th line. Vladar will be our new starting goalie for the rest of the season. Lauzon and McAvoy, Grzelcyk and Carlo, Vakanainen and Clifton. That's fine. Power play is fine. PK is fine. All right. So let's Let's sim ahead a day and see if we're able to pick up that goaltender. All right, we did. Pavel Francouz. So let's go ahead and get him in there. Lines, make him our backup. All right, cool. So it looked like we had a trade proposal come in from Carolina. Dominic Bach. Oh, for David Krejci. Oh, that wasn't anticipated. Dominic Bach is a pretty elite offensive talent. 3.5 star, 31 points with the Wolves this season. Scouting, develop into a good player, somewhere around Jake DeBrusk. Weakest part of his game is his physical play. I mean, I feel like this is a trade we need to make. We had Krejci on the trade block. This is an opportunity. I'm not sure how his no movement clause will work here. I guess we'll complete it and see. It worked. Okay. So we pick up Dominic Bach from the Carolina Hurricanes for David Krejci. Not anticipated, but I will take it. So we'll move him down to Providence. Trent Frederick will get the call. Coyle will move up to the second line. Crowley will move up to the third. Frederick will come in as our fourth line center. All right. We have to put somebody else out there on the point for the second power play. McAvoy. I think here we can go Kasha. And then when we have a 5-on-3, Smith is already out there. DeBrusk is already out there. Marchand, Texier, Coyle is out there. Frederick, Corrali, Kasha. Kasha's out there. I think we're going to go Brandon Saad as we're going to go 4 forwards on our power play. On the PK, Craig Smith. Charlie Coyle. So, a couple of huge moves in this episode. Tuukka Rask and David Krejci both traded from the Boston Bruins, neither of which were going to be brought back next season. Krejci finishes his Bruins career with 712 points in 973 games. Playoff David Krejci. It doesn't show his playoff stats here. Let's look at playoff. Playoff Krejci is one of my favorite things in the world. David Krejci, 115 points in 145 playoff games. Last season, 12 points in 13 games, 16 and 24 before that, 10 and 12 the year before that. 2 of the other cup runs for the Bruins. The year they won the cup, he was a point-a-game guy, and then the year they lost to the Blackhawks, he was more than a point-a-game guy. So playoff Krejci is a beast, so Carolina gets themselves a good one there. We pick up a young prospect. And that's that. So let's go ahead and play this game against the Arizona Coyotes, and then I'll sim ahead to the end of the regular season. We'll go over the finality. We'll call it an episode, and the next episode will be the postseason and the offseason. So let's jump into this game here. All right, Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, DeBrusk, Coyle, Kasha, Saad, Corrali, Smith, Texier, Frederick, Wagner on the blue lines, Lauzon and McAvoy, Grzelcyk, Carlo, Vakanainen, and Clifton. In net will be Francouz getting his first start for the Boston Bruins, and we go against the Arizona Coyotes, who come into this one 31, 28, and 4. Darcy Kemper in net for them. Jacob Chychrun, they have listed as their star player, 26 points in 51 games. So let's go ahead and take on Rick Tockett's Arizona Coyotes. In the desert. Make sure I'm recording here. I am. That would have been bad if I had done all that without recording. So we're in our road whites for this one. Haven't done a road game yet this year. That puck will be iced. First shot doesn't make it through. There's a shot. Save made by Francouz. Cleared out by the Bees. So we have a very interesting offseason coming up ahead of us as that shot goes out of play. We're going to have some cap space, having moved Rask and Krejci. We've got some young players that are going to... Oh, first a shot and a score there. Alexander Texier from Wagner in Clifton gives us a 1-0 lead. That was unexpected, but I'll take it. Yeah, we're going to have some interesting decisions to make in the offseason with Rask and Krejci off the books. We've signed most of our young players. I think a couple of the players that we picked up in those deals are going to have to be signed to some cheap contracts to keep them around. But we're going to have some room in free agency. I'm not a huge hockey free agent guy. I prefer to go after the young players, and a lot of times... There's another shot and another goal. We're up 2-0. Craig Smith from Saad and Corrali. So that line getting it done. That third line, the third and the fourth lines for the Bruins in this one have each picked up a goal. We're up 2-0, 7 minutes in. So we'll see. We'll see what the plan is. I'm looking forward to the draft. We've got a handful of extra picks. We've later rounds. We've got an extra fourth and an extra sixth this year. We're going to be picking somewhere in the upper portion of the first round, somewhere in the top 8 to 12, more than likely. So we should be able to get ourselves a quality talent there. Hopefully we can get maybe we can get a break in the lottery as well. So we'll see what happens. Midway through the first period, we're up 2-0. Goals by Craig Smith and Alexander Texier. Defensively, we look good so far in this one. There's a shot on, saved by Kemper, kept in. Another shot, kicked out by Kemper. Team's got a little bit of a kick underneath them here with the three moves that have been made over the last few days. A couple of long-time players, Tuukka Rask, David Krejci shipped out. Couple of shots on goal there. Breakaway for the Coyotes. Couple of shots. Saved. Down to 4 minutes left in the first period. 2-0. Yeah, the team looks like it's got a little bit of a jolt of energy here with those deals. And just as I say that, Arizona comes back and scores. OEL from Bunting and Christian Dvorak. Oliver Ekman-Larsson picks up the goal and brings Arizona within a goal. So I'm also, and there's our first penalty of the game, a holding call on Alex Gogolowski. I'm going to be probably posting tomorrow, and the Bruins score quickly on the power play. Pasternak from Marchand and McAvoy, giving the Bruins a 3-0 lead here in the first period. I'm going to be posting a video later as Dryden Hunt goes 2 minutes for tripping, and the Bruins go right back on the power play. Later, probably tomorrow, I'm going to be recording it at some point today. 4 goals in the first period. Marchand from Bergeron and Pasternak. So David with a 2-point first period, Marchand with a 2-point first period, and we're up 4-1. Darcy Kempfer having a difficult game, only stopped 4 out of 8 shots. And now maybe I can get this out. I'm going to record it today, post it probably tomorrow or Monday, depending on how quickly I'm able to get to the editing. And there's the end of the first period. Bruins up 4-1. Shots are even at 8. Francouz stopped 7 out of 8. Kempfer has only stopped 4 out of 8. Pasternak, Marchand, both on the power play. Smith and Texier with goals for the Bruins. Ekman-Larsson with the lone goal for the Coyotes. And so anyway, let's try this for a fourth time. I am going to do a preview of the Bruins this season. I don't expect it to be a very long video, probably 10-15 minutes. We'll just touch base on some of the moves and what you can expect, at least what I think you can expect out of the team. And I'm by no means an expert, but I'll give you my take on the upcoming Boston Bruins. If you want me to do a preview for your favorite team, whatever that happens to be, just leave it in the comments, and I'll make that note I'll make that note as well in the description of the video in case people aren't watching the entire video, I guess. I don't know. At any rate, we're up 4-1, 5 minutes in. Breakaway, a couple attempts there, no goals. A couple of saves by Kempfer. So, yeah, I'll do a preview on the Bruins. And then my plan throughout the season is to do updates on, not necessarily every time they play, but do updates of the team periodically, maybe once a month, do a, month in review kind of thing and talk about what went well and, where the team is struggling and that sort of thing. So those videos won't be very long, but I'm looking to get something in between my interviews. The interviews are still kind of the primary focus of my non-gaming stuff. A couple of shots there, saved by Kemper midway through the second period. The interviews I find to be a lot of fun. It allows me to kind of work on my interview skills and continue to build those contacts and that sort of thing. But with the lack of play-by-play opportunities right now, I'm looking for ways to fill that time, and interviews and gaming videos and things like that is how I intend on doing it. So, shot there, saved. Still up 4-1 here in the second period. 4 first-period goals. Breakaway, and there's a save by Darcy Kemper. Charlie Coyle will go 2 minutes for tripping. First power play of the game for the Coyotes, and the Bruins are able to clear that one out. .30 seconds left on the PK, and it looks like the Bruins are going to be able to kill this one. Marchand wasted a lot of time. That one goes behind the net. And a couple of opportunities for the Coyotes there, and they are able to score. Nice pass. Phil Kessel from Connor Garland. Kessel was all alone in the slot, buried that one, and it's 4-2. There's another opportunity for the Bruins as they lose the puck. Under 2 minutes left to go in period number 2. That one's fired out of play. Offense has stagnated a little bit here in the second period. They've had some they had some opportunities early, but lately they haven't had many chances, and that's the end of the second period. We're being outshot 19-15, but we still lead 4-2. Only goal in that period was Phil Kessel. And let's go to the third and see if we can hold on. Third line out there for the Bruins. Arizona is offsides. Matt Grzelcyk will go 2 minutes for interference. Marchand has it, tries to kill some time, loses the puck. Arizona has it. Marchand with it again. And that will do it for the power play. Bruins are able to kill that one off. They have the puck at center ice now. Lost there and taken away by the Coyotes and iced. Ooh, nice passing by the Bruins. Michael Bunting will go 2 minutes for holding. That was some nice passing. Good opportunity. Bruins 2 for 2 on the power play. Make it 3 for 3. Patrice Bergeron gets the tip on the point shot from Charlie McAvoy and David Pastrnak. So for Pastrnak, that's a goal and 2 assists in this one. Bruins are up 5-2. 3 for 3 on the power play for the Bruins in this hockey game. Back to a 3-goal lead. Back down to a 2-goal lead as Gogolowski scores from the point. Bad goal given up by Francouz there from Chychrun and Dvorak, and it's 5-3 with 13:38 left to go. I have a feeling we're going to see some high-scoring games here between now and the end of the season, as my goaltending situation right now is not stellar, having traded both of our goalies this season. And we're running with rookie Dan Vladar. Brendan Saad will go 2 minutes for cross-checking, and Arizona with an opportunity to get within a goal on the power play. Brought in by the Bruins. They've killed off the first half of the power play. And that will do it for the entirety of the power play. So the Bruins PK looking good in this one. Midway through the third period, still a 2-goal Bruins lead. Couple of shots, nice save by Kemper. Charlie Coyle with a good opportunity, not able to score. Stolen away by the Bruins as they change up. Connor Garland will go 2 minutes for interference. I think that's his second penalty of the game. Bruins 3 for 3 on the power play in this hockey game. Make it 4 for 4 as Brad Marchand steals it away from the Arizona defender right in front of Darcy Kempfer, buries it for his second goal of the game, unassisted. So Marchand has got 3 points and he's a -3 in this one. So he scored 3 goals on the power, or scored 3 points on the power play, and has been on the ice for all 3 Arizona goals. Save there. Bruins are able to get it out. 5 minutes left to go in this one. A couple of good opportunities. Looking for the extra point here as the Bruins look to make it 7. It's a couple of good opportunities. Nice save by... Oh, and there's the 4th goal. So this is exactly what I was expecting. And some high-scoring hockey games. So Hayden Fleury, new acquisition for the Coyotes. They picked him up earlier in the week from Carolina. And it's 6-4 with 3:15 left to go. Puck goes over the glass, 3:10 left. Whoa, that was weird. Just shifted down to the other end of the ice. Vakanainen has it, and the puck is cleared out of play. 2.5 minutes left now. Shot on, saved, and cleared out to center ice by the Bruins. Under 2 minutes left. Puck is cleared down into the Coyote zone. We're down to the last minute of play. Bruins with a 2-goal lead. Taken away. Bruins will skate into the Coyote zone. Back out to center ice. Empty net goal. There's the extra point. Matt Grzelcyk from Patrice Bergeron and Jake DeBrusk will give the Bruins a 7-4 lead with 17 seconds left. They still have an empty net. And there's another goal with 3 seconds left. Smith from Saad and Corrali. So an offensive explosion for the Bruins here. An 8-4 Bruins victory in today's game. David Pastrnak, 1 goal, 2 assists. Charlie McAvoy was the number 3 star. Sean Crowley was the number 2 star. Pastrnak was the top star with 3 points. Matt Grzelcyk led the team in on ice time with 25 minutes. Pavel Francouz in his first game with the Bruins gave up 1 bad goal, but otherwise was okay. Stopped 22 out of 26 shots. Darcy Kempfer, not good, 18 out of 24. So Texier, Smith, Pastrnak, and Marchand all scored in the first for the Bruins. Ekman Larson with a goal. It was 4-1 after 1. Phil Kessel scored the only goal of the second to make it 4-2. And then the third period was just a mess. Bergeron, Gogolowski, Marchand, Fleury traded goals. A couple of empty net goals by Grzelcyk and Smith. And the Bruins win this one 8-4. McAvoy had a 70 game rating, Pastrnak 71. Really only Vakanainen and Frederick, I would say, had bad games. Carlo was below average, but overall, pretty solid game. Marchand was a -4, even though we scored 8 goals. That's what happens when you score 3 power play goals and pick up 2 empty netters. So shots were even at 26. We were 4 for 4 on the power play. So that's the end of that one, and we move to 27, 29, and 7, which moves us ahead of Montreal in the standings. So it is the trade deadline. We are done making deals, however. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sim ahead to here, right here, to April 5th, our last game of the season against the Canadiens. We'll play that one, and we'll call it an episode. So I will be back shortly. All right, we are back. It is April 5th, the final game of the season. We currently sit 34, 37, and 10. We are in 14th place in the East, and we are in the 6th spot in the draft standings. Actually, this game's huge. If we win this game, we move up to like a 10th. If we lose this game, we'll stay where we are. So I don't want to say let's lose this game, but we might do what the Eagles did. No, we won't do that. I haven't really gone back and looked at any of the mail since we last talked, so let's just quickly look at this. Robert Carpenter for a 4th, Neil Pionk for a 3rd, Jan Jenik and the rights to Walter Holm for Victor Olofsson, Dmitry Kulikov for Nemesnikov. Sorry, I can't get that name out. Cole Smith for a 5th, Jonathan Bernier for Korshkov, Lauren Dauphine for Sven Bershi, Connor Carrick for Matthew Brome, Hinestroza for Jungmann, Chaput and the rights to Marian Hossa, who's out indefinitely with Gunk, for Mitchell Chaffee. I love that. That's interesting. Wow, this is a big one. Kirill Kaprizov to the Detroit Red Wings for a 2nd-round pick. Not sure what the Wild are doing there, trading Kaprizov for a draft pick, but Spezza and Hainsey for Adam Ernie, I think. Antoine Bibeau for Devin Levy, who was in the news this week. Quinn Olson signed a contract with Belleville, and I'm happy to announce that our scouting has finally come back, and he is now scouted at an A at 4.5 stars. Unsure if he's going to reach that, but something to keep an eye on. Another high talent prospect. Let's see. Jake Bean for a 2nd-round pick. So Detroit with making a couple of moves, picking up Kaprizov and Bean for a couple of draft picks. That's a nothing deal. Calvin DeHaan for Brent Seney. Nothing there. Blake Wheeler picked up his 300th goal. Dmitry Orlov out for 10 months. February scouting report. Again, we're going to be somewhere in here. Owen Powers dropped down to 15th. This is our scouting update, so our scout could be wrong, but still some talent, a lot of talent in this draft. This is a huge draft. So we'll see what happens. Development report. Newhook got better. Still not officially scouted, so Jeremy Swayman is getting a little better. Some of our Bruins talent, both in aggression. Vladar got a little better. Vakanainen got a little better. Trevor Kuntar is up to 3.5 stars. He's improving nicely. Bergeron and Kampfer continue to drop a little bit. Board confidence update. We were 6-5-2 in March. He's unhappy with us, but, whatever. Jeremy Jacobs is always unhappy. He's a dick. Rick Bowness fired. And John Stevens brought in to coach the Stars. Anything else I want to look at? No, it looks like that's about it. All right. So let's look at the roster. I haven't looked at any of this yet, so I don't know. I I don't know where we stand stat-wise or anything like that, so let's just take a quick look. So Bergeron, 66 points in 81 games, 116 penalty minutes for Patrice Bergeron this year. That's crazy. Jake DeBrusk, 1 goal away from 30. Marchand, 46 points in 47 games. Pastrnak, 37 points in 38 games. Coyle and Kasha have both had pretty nice years, about a point every other game. Brandon Saad, 8 assists in 19 games. Hasn't scored yet, but 8 assists in 19 games since we picked him up. McAvoy having a pretty solid season. Craig Smith, a bit of a disappointing first season with the team, although it's pretty much in line with what he did last year in Nashville. Texier with 12 points in 36 games as a 21-year-old. Vakanainen with 8 points in 32 games. He's a -1. Brandon Carlo, a -30 on the season. So tough year for the big defenseman. Goalie stats. Frank Hughes, since he's come to the Bruins, is 7-1. Wow, with a 2.27 goals against and a .907 save percentage. Vladar, 9-15, has not been good. Let's look at Providence. Our goalies in Providence, Swayman Ferguson, since coming over, is 4-0. He's been elite. 4-0 with a 1.79 ERA in 5 games. Swayman, 16-21, 264, save percentage just over 900. Stat summary. Studnicka with a really, really nice season in Providence. He'll be up next season, 55 points in 71 games. Bach, a point-a-game scorer with Providence since we brought him over. He'll probably be up next season as well. Connor Timmins, 3 points in 13 games. He's a +2. He's dropped down to 3 stars, which is a bit of a disappointment, but dropped to half a star. But a 3-star defenseman, 3-star defensive defenseman is not something to, nothing to scoff at, I guess. So that's where we stand. We're going to play the final game of the season against the Montreal Canadiens, and then we'll call it an episode. So let's jump into the game against Montreal. Same lines as our last game: Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, DeBrusk, Coyle, Kasha, Saad, Corrali, Smith, Texier, Frederick, Wagner, Lauzon, McAvoy, Grzelcyk, Carlo, Vakanainen, Clifton, and Dan Vladar will play the finale. So let's get to it. Carey Price making only his 19th start of the season. He was hurt most of the year. And this is a battle for for a top 6 pick, basically. If we win, we could go as high as 9th or 10th in the draft. If we lose, we stay at 6th. So let's see what happens. Final game of the year. So yeah, next episode I'll do a recap of the playoffs. A couple shots by Pastrnak saved by Price. I'll do a recap of the postseason. We'll do awards, we'll do draft, we'll do free agency, and then it'll be the beginning of season 2. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. I've always been a fan of the Franchise Hockey Manager series. The Out of the Park Developments guys make a fun game. As I've gotten older, my hand-eye coordination has slipped, so I'm not first goal of the game scored by the Canadiens. Thomas Tatar from Joel Edmondson, 1-0 Montreal. Yeah, I'm not as good at the playthrough games as I used to be, Madden and the NHL series and things like that. So I love a good statistical simulation, if you will. So the Out of the Park guys have been exactly what it is that I enjoy. So that puck is iced. 13:29 left. 1-0 Canadiens. So I got a lot on tap for today. So once I'm done with this, I'll also be posting a new Draft Day Sports college basketball game, I guess, or episode, and then I'll be doing my Bruins preview. So a lot of recording today, some editing today. I don't know how many of these videos will actually get posted today. I'm hoping to get at least Draft Day Sports posted today, and then hopefully this one as well. This may not be posted until tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. All depends on what else I have to do today. First penalty of the game, 2-minute high sticking penalty on Jake DeBrusk. Canadiens will go on the man advantage. Nice passing by the Canadiens, but it is cleared out by the Bruins. Shot on Vladar there. Another couple shots on Vladar, and he's able to make the save. And we're down to the last 20 seconds of the power play. Connor Clifton with a couple of opportunities shorthanded. Vakanainen from the point is unable to get that one past Price. And Tanner Pearson will go 2 minutes for slashing, and the Bruins will be on the power play now. Shot on, saved there. Cleared down in by the Bruins. Pasternak. Canadiens have it, and Brandon Carlo will go 2 minutes for hooking, and that will kill the rest of the Bruins power play. And then they'll be short-handed for about a minute once this is up. 4-on-4 for the next 50 seconds. DeBrusk has his pocket picked. Another shot on Vladar, saved. Shot goes behind the net by Clifton. Clifton tries the wraparound, is unable to get it past Price. And Montreal is on the power play for the next 10 seconds. That's going to kill that power play. We're back to 5-on-5 for the last 2 minutes of the first period. That one is cleared all the way down by the Bruins. And we are just about done with the first period. 1-0 Montreal. The Canadiens out shooting us 12-10. Vladar stopped 11 out of 12 shots. The lone goal of the game, Thomas Tatar from, looks like Armia and Edmondson. They added an assist for Joel Armia. We go to the second period. Bruins trail 1-0. Again, if we lose this game, we'll pick as high as 6th. I mean, that's where we'll be in the lottery standings, I should say. And then if we win, depending on how the other teams do, we could finish 8th or 9th. So obviously, seeding-wise, this is an important game. You never want to lose, but I wouldn't be devastated if we lost this one. We'll see what happens. Still 1-0 Montreal. Breakaway here for the Bruins. Shot, another shot. Shot, score! It's that Brad Marchand from Pasternak and Clifton ties this one at 1. So, a couple of good opportunities for the Bruins, and they're finally able to put one past Carey Price. Another opportunity, this time for Bergeron. Price is able to make the stop there, though. Bruins have the puck, and it's cleared out of play. 14.5 left to go in the second period. 1-1 hockey game. Brandon Carlo is going to go again. 2 minutes for holding. So the difficult year continues for number 25, who's just looking to get through this season and pretend it didn't happen, as his game rating so far in this one is a 45. So difficult game for Mr. Carlo. Bruins have successfully killed off the first half of the power play. Marchand over to Bergeron, and the save is made by Carey Price. 20 seconds left on the penalty. The Bruins are able to kill it off. Here comes Carlo now. He loses the puck at the blue line. Midway through the hockey game, tied at 1. Carlo's still out there. He finally changes up. Played a long time at forward after coming back from his penalty. So our off-season needs, I don't think we need a ton. I think we're going to need a goalie. We're going to need a veteran goalie because none of our prospects are ready. There are usually plenty of 2.5, 3-star goalies available in free agency. So I'm not overly concerned there. We should be able to pick up a veteran goalie. Vladar will likely be our backup. And I might just go into next season with Francouz. I mean, he's been really, really sharp for us this season. As Trent Frederick will go 2 minutes for slashing. So we need a goalie. And really defense, as Montreal scores Arturi Letkinen from Jonathan Drouin, and Nick Suzuki gives Canadiens a 2-1 lead on the power play. And then defense. We're pretty set at number 1 with Charlie McAvoy. Vakanainen is coming along nicely. I think he'll slot in next to McAvoy next season as that top pairing. We need another, I would say, offensive-minded defenseman, in the Torrey Krug mold. But those are usually quite expensive. So we'll see. And I think our offensive depth is pretty solid now. I think I've done a good job sort of rebuilding the lines a little bit without giving up too much. Our top line obviously is set with Pastrnak, Marchand, and Bergeron. Our number 2, and Canadiens take a 3-0 lead. Armia from Drouin and Baddock. Our second line is not bad. Although Coyle as a second line center is not the worst option in the world. I think I'm happier with him as a third line center, but as a second line, he's getting paid like a second line center, so we need to keep that in mind. He's making $5 million a year or something. So our second line may be set with, as we end the second period, being outshot 20-17. Tatar, Armia, and Letkinen with goals for Montreal, and Marchand with the goal for the Bruins. Final period of the season. Kasha, DeBrusk, and Coyle on that second line I think is pretty okay. Our third line, Craig Smith with Corrali, and it won't be Saad next year. So maybe a third line left wing. And we do have some young players that have to come up. Bach, for example. Studnicka, I'd like to get an opportunity with the team. But it's going to require some other players sitting, Wagner and players like that. So we may have to shuffle around the lines a little bit to get some of those youngsters some playing time. Brandon Baddock goes 2 minutes for holding. So we'll have some decisions to make. I think goalie is probably our biggest challenge. And then, maybe picking up an offensive-minded defenseman. But I'm not, I don't want to spend a ton of money on a, 30-something defenseman. So you won't see me going after a, Pietrangelo type or, necessarily a Torrey Krug type if they're out there, because they're always asking for, $6-7 million, and I'm not interested in paying that. So I'm personally of the mindset I'd rather pay big. If I'm going to pay big money, it's going to be for an elite forward, as Texier goes 2 minutes for slashing, an elite forward or an elite shutdown defenseman. I love the shutdown defenseman, the Chris Pronger types. So I will spend money on those. So we'll just have to see what's available in free agency. I'm excited. Again, I'm excited about the draft. Montreal looks like the power play is about up. We're midway through the third period, and we trail 3-1. Breakaway for the Canadiens. Shot, score. Victor Mete. Is it Mete? I think it's Mete. Gives the Canadiens a 4-1 lead, and it looks like we're going to end up with the number 6 pick, unless something or number 6 pick in the lottery, I should say. Hopefully, we don't get unlucky and end up with like the 10th pick, although it could happen. So we will see. Puck is cleared out by Pastrnak. So this first season has not gone well. It started out poorly with Pastrnak and Marchand being out for as long as they were. Defense really struggled. Our goalies were not good because the defense really struggled, and it got us in a hole. Once we got Marchand and Pastrnak back, we started playing a little bit better. We were a bit over 500 with them in the lineup, but by the time they got back, we were so far out of it that it was a smart business decision to move on from Krejci and Rask. Joel Armia goes 2 minutes for holding. Down to the final 3 minutes. Bruins looking for one final push here. They have their top power play line out there. Shot is saved. And that will do it for the Bruins power play. We're down to the last minute of play in this one. Trailing 4-1. It looks like that's how we are going to finish this one, as it's iced. Couple of shots, and that will do it. So we lose the final game of the season 4-1 against the Canadiens. Finish 34, 38, and 10. You can see the Canadiens now finish 2 points ahead of us at 37, 39, and 6. Armia, number one star, goal and an assist. Drouin, 2 assists. Victor Mete with a goal. Thomas Tatar scored in the first. Marchand tied it up in the second. Lehkonen and Armia scored in the second to give the Canadiens a 3-1 lead. And Victor Mete scored in the third to make it 4-1. We were outshot 30-22 in this one. Vladar stopped 26 of those 30. We were 0 for 3 on the power play. So that is it. Charlie Coyle's injured, but the season's over, so that's fine. So let's see where we ended up. So we finish sixth from the bottom, which is where I thought we'd finish up. We have a Ranger pick, and I think we have, who else did we make the trade with? Colorado. Colorado missed the playoffs. Wow. We have a pick for them as well. How did Rask do? 5-4, 2-7, 7-8, 9-2. Not very well. He did not do very well. Anders Bjork with only 2 points in 18 games. And let's look at, was it New Jersey? No. Where did we get Bach from? Oh, come on. You're killing me here. Right here. Oh, he got hurt. Played 3 games with Carolina before rupturing a tendon in his foot. So both of those deals worked out for us. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. When I come back, it will be the end of, or I guess the next episode, we will do, I'll sim through the postseason. We'll do a recap of the postseason. We'll do the draft. We'll do free agency. And we'll get ready for season number 2. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave a like and subscribe. And until we talk next time, take care.